for me, like one of the main things I'm always doing is kind of warming up my shoulders, my upper back. And I learned the hard way, right? So I had a shoulder injury probably a couple of years ago now, where it took me a long time to realize actually it was my own fault. And I say that because, not because I was ego lifting, but simply because of the fact that I wasn't working on the smaller muscles. And I think of them like nuts and bolts, right? You have a conveyor belt that takes the weight, but if the nuts and bolts aren't screwed in, tightened up, serviced, eventually the system, the vehicle, the belt is gonna give way. And it's just a recipe for disaster, because even if you train your back, people just focus on the big muscles at the back, right? So you might get away with that for, I don't know, a few years, maybe all in your 20s you get away with it, right? And I think the big thing is, it's a privilege to be able to do the big movements, right? But what you realize is, as you get older, you have to do the boring stuff. And it sounds like something you're like, nah, I can get away with it, because it's almost like a false sense of reality, right? Whereby in your 20s and even in your early 30s, you're getting away with stuff and you're like, this is the reality, I'm fine, I can do it, right? But then you get to a point whereby that reality, that kind of past that you get, but when you're younger, it just diminishes and actually reality kicks in. And you realize actually that this isn't gonna be the same as it was. I almost had a free reign to do what I want before, but now I've got to do the boring stuff. And that really is what it takes. You've got to accept the fact that your body has to be worked in different angles, in different areas, different muscles. You need to stop thinking about the big movements that everybody's doing and make sure you've done the work to deserve those big movements. And then your body will thank you for it. Your body will say, well, actually, you've kind of primed me in a position whereby now I have a balance, right? I'm not just working a few different muscles, because ultimately, if you're doing that, you're gonna create an injury. It's going to happen because your body doesn't understand why it's continually being pushed on certain areas and the rest of it's just lacking. So you're creating that higher disparity of where you're getting your bigger muscles to be even bigger, and it just makes the smaller muscles that are trying to kind of create the balance and pull everything together, it just makes the job harder for them, right? And so it's that can be kind of thought about with everything. Your lower back, your legs, your shoulders in particular, joints. Joints is really where you've got to think about it. I wouldn't say that when you're training your abs, right? I mean, yeah, if you want to get abs, there's certain ways that you can do it, but those smaller movements, just don't forget it. Don't forget it.